last night, Monday Night Football, and the game was bad. Chicago beat up on Bill Belichick's New England Patriots 33-14. But there was an even worse debacle taking place. And that was what Bill Belichick did with his quarterbacks, Rob. In my view. I don't know how you feel about it. But I thought Bill Belichick took a controversial situation and turned it into a chaotic situation. And one thing I know I've heard you always say is when you have two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. And Rob, I think football people from high school to the NFL know and understand that for the most part, you only play two quarterbacks as a last resort. And last night, after, first of all, Mac Jones had been out 4 games out 3 games, I believe, with almost 3, 2 and some change, with a high ankle sprain. And Bailey Zappi had led him to 2 victories and played better than Mac Jones. And Bill Belichick, instead of sticking with Bailey Zappi, which I definitely think he should have done, not because Zappi is necessarily better, not because Zappi just stole the job from Mac Jones, but because, one, Zappi was playing better, the team was playing better, and they were winning, and 2, Mac Jones had not yet solidified himself as the franchise quarterback. He hasn't done enough yet. Okay, they got to the playoffs last year. Nearly all the second half of the season, he struggled. And he struggled so far this year with 5 interceptions in his 2.5 games he had played. So anyway, I think that was the wrong move to start Mac Jones, Rob. And then after they go 3 and out first 2 possessions, and then Mac throws an interception, he puts in Bailey Zappi with the crowd chanting Zappi, 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 Zappi. He puts him in, and Rob, I believe at that point, Belichick felt like this is my quarterback now. At least for this is my quarterback. I think he went into that game giving Mac Jones a chance to show that he could do something, that he could be as good or better than Zappi against a good defense, but a bad team overall. And when Mac struggled early, Belichick was like, all right, I've seen enough. This is my guy. The problem is this. Zappi, after a hot start, right, 2 touchdown drives in the first half, fell off the map, as you would say, turned into a pumpkin in the second half. And now, then I think Belichick's got doubt. Oh, my gosh, who is my quarterback? And he makes up some cockamamie, because I can't believe it, Rob. And I know he told Lisa Salters of ESPN at halftime, the plan all along was to play both guys. Really?
And he didn't but he didn't play Mac Jones in the second half.
No, and his rationale was, well, it got so out of hand, and I didn't want to put him in that.
Why not? He needs snaps, Chris. He's been out for a month. Why not?
Snaps.
He needs snaps. If he's going to play and you're going to play 2 quarterbacks, why wouldn't you play him? It don't matter what the score is.
You're not buying it, are you?
No.
Right. Because what if Mac Jones comes out and leads them to 2 touchdowns in the first 3 possessions?
Right.
Is he taking him out then?
Come on, man. This is ridiculous. And my buddy in New York, I went to high school with, Stu Campbell, is listening, Chris. He loves our show, but he's a anti-Belichick guy, and he knows, and he's like, total buffoonery by Bill Belichick. Like, I'm surprised that he went down this road, Chris, of playing this where you knew, like, you got to pick a guy and you got to say, he's my guy. And just because the crowd is chanting and your guy Mac Jones, you went right back to him. You went right back to him. So you should have stuck with him. Good times, bad times, or New York Times. You know what I mean? Like just stick
Rob,
with him.
you make a good. What if he is stuck with Mac last night and he struggles the whole night? Then you could easily go to Zappy next week.
Right, you could have. No doubt about it. But instead, you because of the slow start, and the guy hadn't played in a month, Chris. Right? Has it been a month or more? He hadn't played.
4 weeks he's out. 4 weeks.
Okay, 4 weeks. So he gets off to a bad start. He had 2 3-and-outs and an interception. I get it. He played poorly. But you can't be like that. You can't be that reactionary, Chris, because of exactly what happened to Zappy, which is he went to bed. Now what?
Now what is right?
Now what are you going to do,
now
Bill?
What is right?
Is this on? Hello? Now he doesn't know what to say. Come on, Bill. I'm surprised he went for the okie doke, Chris. What do we always say?
You think he was influenced by the crowd? It's hard to think this dude would be influenced
I would
by
hope
the crowd
not.
like
I would hope
right.
not. But you know what? It was such a bad start for Mac Jones. I'm sure he was thinking, this kid beat the Lions 29-0. This kid, you know what I mean? Like you start to go, like he was playing well. What was I doing? What was I thinking? I should have just left it the way it was.
Right.
And then you panic. And at first it looks like a genius move. Two drives. Man, he looks great. And then he was terrible. 2 picks. Just bad.
So
I don't know. So if
you,
you're Bill Belichick now, Chris, what do you do?
This is what I would do. I think you have to start Mac Jones next week. Because, Rob, I don't think Mac Jones' psyche could handle, not because he's weak-minded or weaker than Zappy, but he's not playing well. He's the cat's meow last year, right? Makes the Pro Bowl, leads him to the playoffs. Then he starts off poorly this season. This 4th round pick comes in and plays well, gets hurt, this 4th round pick plays well. And then he gets the job back and loses it in like a quarter and a half. And then the Zappy comes in and plays poorly himself. So I think, Rob, if Zappy were to start, you might have lost Mac Jones for the rest of his tenure in New England. Whereas with Zappy, I don't think it's as big of a deal.
Zappy wasn't expecting anything, Chris. No. He was a third
stringer a month ago.
This is all gravy for him. Are you kidding? Like he's going to get his feelings hurt? He came to Foxborough not expecting anything.
Gotten what he did. Right. So I think, and here's what I would do, Rob. I would give Mac Jones the next 2 starts, period.
No matter what.
Like no matter what, period. I'm sticking with him. I'm giving him a legitimate chance. And then they have a bye week, I believe. If he hasn't proven in those 2 weeks that, he's your guy, then you can go back to Zappy and then figure out your quarter. Maybe if Zappy plays well, maybe he's your guy next year. If not, then you figure it out over the offseason. But, Rob, they got the Jets, then the Colts, and then the bye. And so that's how I would do it. Not because I'm in love with Mac Jones, but because I just don't think he could handle, you'd probably lose him the rest of the season.
And you also want to see if the guy, he got a taste of it, Chris. He got pulled out. Is he going to fight for his job? Is he going to play better?
Right.
Oh, wow. I got hurt. I came in. I played poorly. Next thing you know, I'm on the bench. That ain't going to happen to me ever again. That's what you want.
Right.
A guy to feel like. I'll never want that feeling again. It could light a fire.
Who you would go? Would you go with Mac?
Yeah, Mac Jones. Yeah. You have to decide if he's really viable and your guy. Zappy is too,
you can get him later. You know what I mean?
Crapshoot. It's a crapshoot with him. Zappy is crappy. You know what I mean? Like just from the standpoint you're rolling the dice.
Right. I don't know if Mac is better. Right? Zappy, we've seen it, Rob. Kurt Warner, heck, Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's going to be like that good, but I'm just saying we've seen guys come out of nowhere. So maybe I don't want to just completely say he has no chance, but my point is this. I'm not worried about Zach Zappy, right? Mentally. Just because, to your point, nothing was expected. He's not going to be crushed. This is not going to be the end of his world. We're not going to have to rebuild his psyche if he doesn't start next week. Mac Jones, first round pick, supposed to be the heir apparent to Tom Brady, Alabama national championship, and you lost your job to this dude from Western Kentucky by way of Houston Baptist. I mean, that's a lot of rebuilding to do. And so that's why I would start him. But what would you do?